I did not anticipate that there'd be such a stalwart effort to make sure that the most important thing was that President Biden didn't get anything done. Think about this. What are Republicans for? What are they for? Name me one thing they're for.
Biden asked today what the Republican Party stands for. He's very frustrated that Republicans won't go along with any of his agenda, and he says that means you guys don't stand for anything.
Well, number one, I stand for infrastructure that makes sense, and I voted with Democrats to pass a bill that was roads, bridges, and ports oriented. You know what we stand for? We stand for capitalism. We stand against socialism. So stop being a socialist and you'll get more of us to work with you. We stand against Russia. Come up with a coherent policy against Putin and I'll be with you, Mr. President. We stand for law and order. You know, come up with solutions to the problems that police face, more training, more money. I'll stand with you. So the reason he's not getting anybody in the Republican Party to help him is the nature of his agenda. And it's not our nature, you know, Susan Collins, a bunch of us up here work across the aisle. There's nothing to work with here. He has embraced the most radical agenda, maybe in the history of the country. If you left it up to them, they would make D.C. a state. They'd make Puerto Rico a state, diluting the power of the 50 states. They would pack the Supreme Court. They would abolish the Electoral College. They would do all these things to gain power. So we're not going to help fundamentally change the country. And the problem lies with him, not with us.
Yeah. Finally, I want to get your thoughts. The latest Politico Morning Consult poll, a third of Americans, 37%, giving President Biden first year in the White House a failing grade. 11% gave him an A. If you break it down by the issue, it gets more interesting. Handling of the economy, just 10% give him an A. And then you see at the bottom, 50% of the country give him a D or an F. On immigration, just 6% give him an A. And reminder, this is a Politico poll. More than that, 51% give him a D or an F. And then on ability to restore unity, you've got 8% giving him an A, which is a big reason why I think he was elected. And you've got 52% on restoring unity giving him a D or an F. Those are some staggering numbers.
Well, those numbers reflect the life that you live in America right now. If you live along the border, it's a nightmare. 2 million people coming across the border legally. We went from the most secure border when President Trump left office to the most broken border in the history of the country. If you go to get your car filled up with gas, gas prices have gone up 40 or 50%. Why? We shut down the Keystone Pipeline that provides oil and gas from us and Canada, and we allowed Putin to build a gas pipeline to enrich himself in Europe. Right. So we're making energy harder to find in America. We've lost our energy independence, so that puts pressure on the gas pump. Inflation is rampant because we've spent so much money up here in Washington. They flooded the marketplace with government money. They've made it harder to create a job than it is to work. You pay people more not to work. So what people are telling you in these polls is that the life they're living under Joe Biden has been pretty disappointing. They voted for a centrist. They've got a doormat in terms of standing up to the radical left. They've got a guy who doesn't appreciate the dangers we face, completely incompetent on foreign policy. To pull out of Afghanistan and leave the place in the hands of radical Islamists and abandon American citizens is unforgivable. And it's just a matter of time till terrorists come across our border. People get this. They're not embracing the Republican Party as much as they're rejecting a radical agenda being pushed by an incompetent president. Yep. So it's up to us. And here's what I'd say to my Republican friends. Let's come up with an America First agenda talking about what we are for. I think that's important, and I look forward to working with President Trump to come up with that positive agenda.
Well said. Senator, thank you so much for taking the time. It's good to see you again.
Thank you. Thanks very much.
After the last election, liberty-minded Americans are facing a difficult question. What do we do now? We do have a plan to stop them. This is the only plan that bypasses Biden and Congress to save the republic. Sign the petition at conventionofstates.com.